All right, so we're going to talk about how to approach internet leads. So that's Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. So let's talk about what a lead is. So a lead is someone who's interested in something you have to sell or offer. They saw your ad and they want more information about what you have to offer. But what a lead is not is a person who you don't have to build a relationship with. It's really exciting when you receive that text message or email. Tasha Smith is interested in your home improvement product, and here's her phone number, name, and email, and she wants to be contacted. Well, you still have to build a relationship with Tasha if you want to convince her to buy something. Even though the lead comes to your inbox, comes to your phone, you still have to be able to sell that lead and build a relationship good enough to where she or he trusts you enough to make a decision. So let's talk about when you should contact the lead. So when a lead comes in, you should contact them right away, usually by text, because people don't pick up um, calls from phone numbers that they don't know. And so if you want to, you can give them a phone call right away. Sometimes they'll pick up by email and by voicemail drop. Excuse me. So usually the first day, what you want to do is send them a text, give them a phone call if they don't respond to the text, send them an email, or give them a voice mail drop. So ringless voice messages is what they call them. So that's four times that you contact them right away. Typically, people use an automation software. So the next time you should be contacting people, if you're going to do it by phone, is after 6:30. So I've noticed, this is from experience, that when you call someone who's interested in your service, you want to give them a call between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. if they don't respond or pick up right away. And then there's the next day. You want to text message, email, and phone call. Now you called them yesterday between 6:30 p.m. and you also called them again between you want to call them also between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. the next day because sometimes people might work night shifts or sometimes people just are available. I've noticed between that 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. window. And then the day after that is email. And the question becomes, well, if the lead was so interested and they put in their information, then why are they so hard to get a hold of? Why is it that I have to keep following up with people in order to get a sale? Well, I would say to you, welcome to sales. Because when someone puts in their information, whether it's on Google, whatever platform it is, you have no idea what that person is doing, one, where they're at, and when they're exactly going to be available. And sometimes people are just funny. You know, people will respond when they feel like responding. As a salesperson, as a marketer, as a person putting in the money to receive the lead, sometimes you can feel like if they put in their information, at least they can have enough decency to just pick up the phone or to respond to my text message. But you'll start to learn that people are really not so easy to deal with from that point of view. And so you really have to have some tough and thick skin so that you can go through that without starting to hate people. And I'm being really serious. Sometimes we can take it really personal that, we spent $50 and we got, 20 leads and we're still following up with 50% of them because only 50% picked up, the phone. And that's another thing. This is not to say that all of the leads are not going to pick up, but this is just a very real reality is that sometimes what you'll notice is you'll be able to contact 30 to 50% of your leads the first time they come in. And then the other 50%, you spend time following up. And that is why people create and sell follow up campaigns because they do work. So let's talk about what kind of responses you should expect. So some of the top responses you'll hear is I never put in my information. You have the wrong phone number. I'm no longer interested. I already got it taken care of. I'm stupid and I just like to put my information in things, right? So another question is, well, why would people lie? Or why would someone put in their information and all of a sudden say they're no longer interested? None of that makes sense. These are some of the things you're going to run into. If you have a batch of 100 leads, you're at least going to get 10 to 15% of those leads that's going to say some stuff like this. 10 to 15% are going to say some stuff like this, and you can't avoid it. It's just internet leads. You just got to get used to it. Okay, so I'm trying to help you with your mindset so that you understand there's a certain way that you have to think when you're approaching these kind of leads. Okay, so if someone is going to get responses like that, then how many leads will turn into sales? Well, it's not really about leads to sales. And I know that might ruffle some feathers, especially of our in home salespeople, because I used to be an in home salesperson, full time commission only. And for me, it was leads to sales. If my sales manager sent me on 10 appointments, then I better had closed at least 30% of those. And so this is internet marketing and internet leads. So what we focus on here is cost per acquisition. So if I can get you to look at this in a different light, we're going to start looking at cost per acquisition and not how many leads did I get and how many leads did I close. Because when it comes to internet marketing, to internet leads, it's not about that. It's about how much money do I have to spend before I make a sale. So you have to figure out what's your current cost per acquisition. How much is it currently costing you before you make a sale? Do you have enough commission to, do you make enough commission to invest into digital marketing? And how much money you can spend before you make a sale and it still makes sense. And so when you start to gather these numbers, you'll be able to figure out exactly how much money you can spend before you make a sale and how much money you can spend before it doesn't make sense anymore. So another question is, what is a common cost per acquisition? Well, it depends on a few things. Number one, it depends on your follow-up. It depends on your market, your offer, your way of connecting with people, your sales presentation. So if you're following up with people and it's only been 2 days and you let the lead, go away, then typically you're not going to get that sale, especially if they weren't one of the people that picked up the first time you gave them a call. It also depends on your market. So if you're business to business or if you sell things that they cost a lot of money. It's a long-term contract and it's a relationship sale. Then it's gonna take you a while before you start making some sales. But as long as you can keep building those relationships, it'll be just fine. It also depends on your offer. Now, being candid, if your offer is trash, right? Your way of connecting with people sucks and your sales presentation is just out of this world terrible, you're not going to do so well. All of these things come together to make your cost per acquisition what it is. So if your offer is just a free estimate, while the company down the street is doing a free estimate with three extra free items, well, you're going to need to step your game up and you're going to need to figure out what can you do to make your offer better? Your way of connecting with people. You have to, if you don't know how to talk to people, win friends, and influence people, you're going to have to work on that. If you have an extremely dry personality that is really hard to connect with and you're bringing that to people and people don't like it, well, your CPA is going to go up. Your sales presentation. If you don't have a great sales presentation or no sales presentation at all, then your CPA is going to go way up. So all of these things depend. But if you can master your follow up, understand your market, create a great offer, and improve your way of connecting with people and your sales presentation, your cost for acquisition can be wonderful. So, speaking of wonderful cost per acquisitions, the lowest cost per acquisitions that I've seen were $83. For every $83 this company spent, they made $5,000 with me as their digital marketer. But the leads were half of it, right? The other half was that the company realized that they needed to start having more of a relationship with the customer before they ask them to buy anything. And so as a result of that, their cost per acquisition is still $83. And they're happy to work with me and I with them because they understand that the leads are just half of it. I've seen cost per acquisitions as high as $500 for people who they know how to follow up, not that well, but they get the job done. Their sales presentation is halfway decent, and they know how to connect with people, okay, not perfect, but okay. And so I've seen the highest cost per acquisition, and we're talking home improvement, real estate, things of that nature, high ticket items, anything that you can think of that's a high ticket item. These are what the cost per acquisitions that I've seen. So the more you know, the better you can do, and the better you can perform within your own career and industry. So I hope this helps shed some light on how you should look at internet marketing and internet leads versus anything else. If we were talking about appointments, then yes, you would want to focus on closing percentage. If the company that you deal with gives you 10 appointments a week, then yes, the first question you need to ask is what is the average closing percentage of those appointments? But when we're talking about internet leads, Google, Facebook, what have you, what you need to focus on is how much money does it cost me before I make a sale. So you guys have a good one. I'll be here if you have any questions.